Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play HOI4 Kaiserreich as Romania. Let us continue on from where we last left off. First and foremost, we got 3 research slots. What do we want to take? Well, I mean, it's late 36, so I feel okay taking all of our 37 techs. Russia demands a better deal. While the Russians never refused our offer, they made a counter offer that would involve more concessions on our part. We never expected the Muscovites to negotiate in good faith, but this does push us against the wall as the economic crisis may force our hand. So we get a negative 50 political power, or we will not be bullied. Okay, Russia, we can be friends. And this will automatically complete. Because again, I want to be friendly with Russia. We need to be in Russia's alliance. But I mean, they don't even like us very much at negative 10. Why? Different ideology. I like them plus 10. Trade partners. Are we trading with them now? No, I guess we're importing steel from them, so I mean, that's something, right? And we like each other very much. Always happy to see. Okay, so right now, I mean, we got control of the legislation. Which, I mean, seems pretty good for us. Republican victory in Brazil is, it's okay. Hopefully, we'll see the Montevideo Treaty and Brazil will just stay out of all international politics. Or at least that's my hope, right? Give me more attack, please. What are you? Oh yeah, the international arms embargoes, where our rifles just are very expensive to build. Okay, diverse agriculture. We'll then go immediately into enacting this will spend Cornell's political influence. So it'll bring us all the way back to neutral. That's fine. Yeah, we can spend our influence there. Okay, mechanized farming next up. And I don't want any of these options. I just want radicals. And I also don't really think we need any of these too much either right now. Because you're going to bring us back up to equilibrium. And then does not national spirit a great game. Has at least requires at least autocratic for the king. Well, you give us 1 military, 2 civilian factories. You give me just 5% stability. I mean, urban is meh. A new palace for a new capital. One of the few things that King Carl and the Legionary movement agree on is the importance of public works. Albeit the two have a notable difference in that the Legionnaires prefer smaller scale works like roads and dikes as the primary goal, while Carl favors more massive undertakings as his first priority. After some notable wranglings in the legislature involving heated debates between the cabinet and the monarch, be it on regular meetings or during presided sessions in parliament, the king has managed to obtain approval for some massive investments in Bucharest, especially regarding the continuation of the new royal palace project. In exchange for refurbishing rural roads, bridges, and dikes throughout Olentia and Motania. Not only will these investments provide valuable jobs to the economy, especially in times like these, but they'll also leave behind an immortalized legacy, be it through the memory of the rural infrastructural repair, or those of the magnificence of the new royal palace. With the remaining barriers out of the way, construction will begin in earnest, starting with the clearing of the ruins of the old royal palace, also known as the Glockshaw Mansion. From their spots on Kelia Victoriae. Okay, 5 political power. I mean, sure, thanks. We're not balanced right now. Increasingly diverse agriculture, crew population goes down, stability is down as well. And the king's high society contacts. King Carl II is an active member of Romania's high society. From multi-industrialists to artists to socialites, he tends to support them both personally and financially, and they appreciate his majesty's support. Many of them are eager to meet the king in person and enjoy his ear for whatever trouble or project of their needs, project of theirs needs it. On the other hand, Prime Minister Corneo has been wary of these contacts as they threaten his own standing in the complex circle of Romanian government has become. He may use his influence to limit these contacts and ensure Romanian high society doesn't move against him. We can meet with the king, or perhaps... this brings us to equilibrium. Perhaps the king is busy at the moment. No, let's meet with the king. We'll go back to equilibrium. That's fine. I mean, we still got 67% support. Like, we should still be fine. hold legionary rally. And again, I don't know why that powers up the king. Like, this one, I guess, makes sense, because he's spending his time, consolidating his own party instead of, in government, but I don't know why the legionary rally would make the king more popular. You know, I'm going to take it. Harass political enemies, please. Just a little bit of harassment never hurt anybody. Okay, we're 83 political power now. I'm kind of thinking about getting the army officer just before the war actually breaks out. Never mind, the war is here. And like I said, this area is open for us. How many guns do we have in storage? 800. I mean, it's not a ton, but I will definitely take it. Okay, so how do we want to move in? I think first and foremost, I want to move this unit to move straight onto Sofia. I want you going here. I want you here, you here, you here, and you here. You fight this division. Hold them off for now. The Fourth Balkan War. In the first few decades of the 20th century, the 3 Balkan Wars shook the nation, or shook the region. 2 were local affairs, fought only between the Balkan states themselves, whereas the third one is more commonly known as the Balkan Front of the WWII. For almost 2 decades after the conclusion, worldwide observers expected that to last 2. After all, the WWII led Bulgaria the hegemon in the Balkans. The 3 competitors shattered, held down by oppressive peace treaties for having chosen the wrong side and divorced from much of their core lands. Surely, in a Europe redrawn according to Germany's whim, there's no room for revanchist ambitions in the Balkans. It is clear today, as thousands of men from the region take up arms, that those predictions were wrong. Was it the weakness of the so-called Greater Bulgaria which was at fault, or is the fault blame on Austria and Germany for having grown complacent towards the Balkans and not stopped the rearmament of the Balkan states? By now, the answer does not matter. Only bloodshed will ensue. While it seems unlikely that the Fourth Balkan War will escalate into a worldwide conflict, as none of the great powers treat it as a proxy war against one another just yet, there are still potential participants in the war lying in wait, and nobody knows what the result will be. Can Bulgaria defend its fragile hegemony of the Balkan region and make it stand the test of time? Or will the Belgrade Pact achieve a new order in the Balkans, which it calls for? Are you... Okay, Bulgaria and Ottomans had their peace treaty. So we will not be seeing them go to war with one another. I want you here, I want you here. And instead, 1 unit down. Actually, I want you going like this. I want you here. I want you to go here. I want you here. To me, that makes most sense. I'm also going to move our way down this coastline. How many units do we got on this front? We got 4. I mean, 4 is okay. Russia wants to give me some support. Absolutely, I will accept it. No questions asked. And we got 50 fighters. I mean, I guess I might as well send them into Romania or into Bulgaria. Support is still looking good for us. And we need to capture here. We have 60 days. I mean, we should be able to get it done in 60 days. I don't see how we wouldn't. Do I have a navy? I do. And Bulgaria, I don't think does. I mean, we're going to take all their ports in a second. So, I mean, that looks pretty good for me. Okay, socialists are in control of Norway. Not a huge surprise. That's a pretty common thing. What are you? Are you both fighters, or are you different types of fighters? No, just combine into one big air fleet, please. We do own Sofia. We got Bulgaria now down to 35%. Move your way over to this city next. Union Day. Yeah, move you in this direction. We don't have a ton of units, but I would like to take this province next. Serbia negotiates peace. The Serbian Foreign Ministry has informed us they are currently negotiating a peace treaty with Bulgaria, which would put an end to the war and fulfill generous territorial demands for all of the Pact's members. I mean, we could just keep the war going, but I honestly think, like, how many men have we lost in this fight? 1,000? Honestly, this has been a pretty bloodless war. Yeah, no, that is a completely reasonable war. Mechanized farming. The Belgrade Pact stands for triumphant. The joint armed force of the Belgrade Pact managed to revert the injustices imposed on it after the WWII. Honestly, it was just me. I captured all the cities. I don't think Serbia and Greece did anything. But I will absolutely take it. Thank you, thank you. I don't even think that Russia's volunteers even got here in time. Wait, when did the war break out? 13th of January. It was like 15 days. It's the 2-week war. Okay, I mean, that works out just fine for me. We're back. We're both also at equilibrium again. Means I actually can't do any of you right now. Equilibrium of power. Do any of you boost my side? You boost the king's power, which is not what I want. Let us integrate you for 30 political power. So what do I want to take then? Unitary zeal, these not words, Transylvania or war. I mean, we could make our way down there. And honestly, I think we want to. And my reasoning for that is if we can attack the Austrians, if they're at war with Hungary, that benefits us greatly. Like, we're just way stronger in that scenario. Give me offensive doctrine, please. Do I want to train any more units? I think the answer is yes. I'm going to duplicate you, just remove the support companies. Just to make you a little bit cheaper, give me... Do you have any guns? No, we have enough guns for like one more unit. I mean, I'll take it. Okay, the captain's brother-in-law and co-founder of the Legionary Movement, Ayamoto, has been at Cornio's side for a long time. In the Legion's earliest days, he often had a bigger theorist, was a bigger theorist of its beliefs than the captain himself. He preferred to maintain a degree of flexibility in order to enhance the Legion's chances. Now, as a successful publication of For My Legionnaires, Mota has released a book of his own, titled Wooden Skulls. Title taken from the article commemorating the death of a legionary killed in the movement's early days and having his death masked behind wooden language. Containing the collection of Mota's most important articles on varying issues, from the origins of the Legion among the nationalist sundry to the necessity of Greater Hungary's dismantlement. All the way to the mundane, like miracles attributed to the Archangel Michael, acting as a microcosm for Legionaries' beliefs, especially of its old guard, agro-mysticist side. The book has reached very popular among legionary circles, strengthening the reach of the so-called old guard. How dare you? I mean, at 3, okay, it's not so bad. I was expecting more than 3 points here. Smear campaign against Lusetsko. The King's Mistresses, Magna Lusetsko, was recently been targeted by the Legion-aligned papers across Romania in a rather obvious attempt to smear in her name. The exposé described the Jewish whore as a power behind the throne, accusing her of manipulating Karl and subverting Cornio's governments, especially regarding the land reform program. The Jewish origin of her parents were emphasized in further demonize her in the eyes of the increasingly anti-Semitic public and placed her as a centerpiece of an anti-Romanian conspiracy. The king's absolutely livid, to say the least. The campaign could very well cause a public split between him and the prince and his prime minister. Okay. Well, let's prepare a campaign against the Hungarians for right now. Can't take you quite yet. Give me more rifles, because we're going to need more and more. The king demands an apology. As expected, King Carl II publicly admonished the Legion for their recent smear campaign against his mistress. In retaliation, the king has demanded that Prime Minister Cornio publicly apologize for the incident and properly punish the legionnaires responsible. While Cornio's may live to hide his disgust of his mistress, he and the king depend on the image of cooperation in their common goal to forge Greater Romania, and the incident threatens to expose how bitterly opposed they truly are. On the other hand, it would be a public humiliation for the Legion to bow down to Karl, and could hurt the unity of the movement as the captain depends strongly on a cult of personality. I mean, we could... You know what? Give me a little save game here. Just a little save. Cornio, again, I kind of want you out. Okay. Give me 40 political power. Cornio sides with the king. In order to avoid public dispute with the king, Cornio agrees to his demands and publicly apologizes for the Legion's attack on the king's mistress. This is a clear victory for Karl, but the captain insists that a relationship with mistress need to remain smooth for the time being. He has promised to make sure the offenders will be tried and punished accordingly. So we either go... We take a stability loss. Okay, let's go negative 25 here. Right now, it's still equilibrium. 495 days. One of you is not opened up quite yet. Cornio faces criticism from his own. While the captain appears to be all-powerful leader of the Iron Guard, there have been whispers among legionnaires about the submissive response to the successful affair. While the Legion is highly disciplined and the cult of personality centered around Cornel is strong, the captain's recent actions have shaken his once absolute confidence. Regardless, Cornel is adamant that it is the right course of action and that the alliance of convenience with the king is still necessary. We will, he's gonna keep losing power here. What are you? University lecturer and rising star in the world of literacy criticism, George Konecki has recently chosen to experiment with a more conventional literary form, the novel. And recently his efforts have come to fruition through his publication of his work, Enigma Otelli. Described as a Blesian novel, it is set in antebellum Romania, telling the tale of a young medicine student, Felixima, who moves in with his rich yet miserably uncle, Coseche Gurveniu. There he meets Oletelio Mercelicchio, a man's stepdaughter, alongside his uncle's sister's family, Pusas, and family friend Leonido Pasapol. Felix gradually falls in love with Leta, who unfortunately doesn't fully return his feelings, showing some preference over Poletskopol instead. All the while, in spite of loving his stepdaughter of his own way, Konecki is reticent in his fully adopt her and make her a main beneficiary of his inheritance, resulting in conflicts where he has to deal with the Tulsa family and their quest to seize control over his fortune, be it via inheritance or other means. Okay, 10 political power. I'm going to turn that off while I'm not butchering all the names all the time. Forming Mota Mora and Legionary Corps. With Spain tearing itself apart in a bloody civil war comes an opportunity. The Carlist movement in Spain is seen as an ideological ally to the Legion of Archangel Michael, and a number of legionnaires have volunteered to fight for a similar cause. Ion Mota and Jersey Marlene are high-ranking members of the Legion and have already begun preparations for the Corps, ready to be used under the leadership of Lexo Constancio, the Green Prince. Not only could this potentially lead to a friendly regime in Spain, this could also give valuable military experience to young legionaries eager to prove themselves. Of course, with tensions high at home, it may be wise to keep them here in case things heat up soon. What? Give me a little save. Because I want this man, Alexandro Constancio, the Green Prince. He'll integrate units into the army. Yeah, you guys can go to Spain. How are they doing, by the way? I mean, they're doing fairly okay. It's kind of hard to tell who's going to be winning in this fight right now. We don't want any of these two. I need something, though. Can you give me, like, one more event here so that I can, Hey, there we go. Improve our influence. 70 days on you. What do we need for this? Hungary's at war with Austria. Which will almost certainly lead to a war between us and Austria. I mean, how many... Like, when we play as Serbia, the war is not too difficult. I mean, it's March right now. King's dominance. Okay, so I guess we just failed that. I'm not too sure. We want to keep it neutral, though. The Sentinel of the Motherland is a young wing of the Royalist movement, meant to counter the growing strength of Legionnaires' own cross-brotherhoods. Sentinels are bound by creed, faith, and labor for country and king. Like the cross-brotherhoods, the Sentinels offer military training for Romania's use, forming them into loyal patriots of the country and its king, the Great Sentinel. While we will be unable to discern its success for some time, it is clear that the two youth movements are bound to clash should the king and Cornel split. Definitely that will not happen. But I do think that at least for right now, this is going to be a good time for the end off for today. So thank you very much for watching. My name is Ansel. If you enjoyed, thumbs up. Not enjoying, thumbs down. If you want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.